Hello everyone, I'm Sunatha from SNS College of Technology, Department of Mathematics. As the continuation of the lecture series in the topic ANOVA, here in this video we are going to see what is Latin square design. So the Latin square design is nothing but one of the most structured and efficient experimental design in statistics. So the Latin square design is used when two Newton factors are present, meaningly two external sources of variations, like for example, if we take fertilizer farms, we can consider the treatments and the number of fertilizers used and the yields as the nuisance factors. So this may affect the result but not the primary interest. So unlike in a CRD, which has no control, and RBD, one factor control, LSD controls two factors simultaneously, so which makes the method more efficient and highly efficient design. This is especially useful in real world experiments where multiple conditions influence the outcome. So next is recall. In experimental design, we always deal with treatments, experimental units, and nuisance factors. So for example, if we test fertilizers, so fertilizer will be treatment, and soil type and fertilizer may be the nuisance factor. Next, now the question is, what if there are two nuisance factors at the same time? So this is where exactly we use this Latin square design. So here is an empathy part. So let us understand a real world scenario. So imagine a farmer conducting an experiment on a field. So the soil fertility varies from place to place. Like in some places there will be more water availability. So and the manure, so it will be more fertile. But the availability, if the availability of the water decreases, then it will be less fertile sometimes. So there will be row effect and column effect. So the farmer concern is that where we ignore the variations, the result will be misleading. So we cannot use one-way method as well as the two-way method. So we are supposed to use the randomized block design method. So the defined path, we are going to compare the treatments. So we are in control two nuisance factors and reduce experimental error is what we are going to do in this Latin square design method. So the data itself will be given in the Latin square design, that is nothing but the rubric's cube like structure. So the number of treatments will be equal to the number of rows and number of columns. So that creates a square structure and it will be known as Latin square design. So the goal is to eliminate variation due to row and eliminate variation due to column, and study only treatment effect accurately. Next is an ideate, so in which the arrangement treatments in the square matrix. Next, each treatment appears in one in each row. Next, each treatment appears once in each column. So the row 1 will be A B C D like, and in row 2 B C D A. Row 3 will be C D A B and D A B C like. This will be arranged in other table will be arranged in such a way that one factor appears only once, both in row and column wise. This arrangement ensures that row variation is balanced, row and column variations both are balanced. So this is the core strength of the LSD method. Next is the prototype. So in this we will be having the source of variation will be along the columns, rows and treatments. Next will be the residual is called error. So as in the previous methods, we will be calculating the sum of the square of columns, rows and the treatments and errors. Next, the degrees of freedom will be same for all, because the number of rows, columns and treatments are equal. Next, the some source of error for this degrees of freedom for source of error will be k minus 1, k minus 2, where this k stands for total number of treatments. Next, mean square, some of the squares and variance ratio are also calculated in the similar manner compared to that of the previous methods. So here is an application part. So the Latin square is widely used in many fields, like in agriculture we can take rows as soil fertility and column as irrigation and the yield as the treatment. Like in industry, rows and columns are taken as machines and time periods and the outcomes. And in laboratory experiments, operators and environmental conditions can be taken. Next, the key advantages of this method are it controls tune usage and it is high precision and it's efficient use of data. Next, the limitations. The number of treatments must be equal to the number of treatments must equal the number of rows in columns. So that is a mandatory factor for this method. So this is not flexible like the previous two methods. So that is the limitations. So here is the mind map in which we have discussed many things about Latin square. So next is an assessment question. So the Latin square design controls tune usage. Latin square design, the number of treatments is equal to the number of rows in columns, the option D. Next, each treatment appears only once in each row and column. So here are the references for this Latin square design, and thank you.